channel. My name's Bethany. This is a chronic illness channel, but today I'm going to be discussing Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's May 14th, 2024, and it is the month of the zebra. So let's get into more awareness for EDS and spread some education. Ehlers-Danlos syndromes are a rare group of heritable connective tissue disorders. Each type of EDS has different features and symptoms as well as their own set of diagnostic criteria. Hypermobile EDS is the most common of EDS and affects 1 in 3,100 to 5,000 people. This is the type that I was diagnosed with by a geneticist on April 3rd. In my case with hypermobile EDS, it affects my organs, immune system, autonomic nervous system, vascular system, muscles, joints, eyes, mouth, energy, memory, you name it, etc. It affects everything. I actually became the running joke of the family because every single family vacation I've taken ever, I've always gotten sick. You name it, pink eye, chicken pox, the flu, strep throat, sun poisoning, which I now know was actually sun sensitivity, photosensitivity. I get hives. When I was in dance, and I was younger, I could do splits easily and bend without really practicing. I think I practiced maybe 5 minutes a day. And I was always tired. I remember staying in bed. This started around middle school, staying in bed on weekends. I didn't want to go out with friends. I didn't want to go outside. I just wanted to stay in my bed and watch TV. And the fatigue never really relieved itself. Like I never felt more energetic the more naps that I took. I was just always so tired. And it also gave me brain fog. I wasn't able to pay attention as much. And then, yeah, I suffered greatly from that. But we didn't know what it was because there was little to no research then. And so what do? You just sleep it off. In 5th grade, I started my cycle. I was the only girl in my class. I was 10 years old. It was very embarrassing. Like that age isn't awkward enough. But it was extremely heavy and it was extremely excruciating. And I'm not just saying like miss a day of school. I was hunched over with a heating pad and I could not leave my bed. Later I found out that I had one of the worst cases of endometriosis that my OBGYN has ever seen. All throughout high school I had dental braces, and then throughout college I had the retainers because my teeth weren't spaced properly. They were overcrowding and it was just very uncomfortable. I also to this day use the Sensodyne for sensitive teeth, and that seems to help quite a bit. And I try to brush with like the charcoal powder or the charcoal toothbrushes and stuff like that, and that seems to help keep my mouth clean and fresh and prevent any further damage. Around 2009, I started getting migraines so bad that I ended up in the emergency room and tossing cookies. My personal migraine triggers are barometric pressure changes. April is the worst month in Calgary. Changes in the weather, strong fragrances such as cigarette smoke, perfumes, cleaning supplies, gasoline, cologne, heat and humidity, stress, overdoing it or pushing myself too much, dehydration, not getting enough sleep. Those are the main triggers. Also, after seeing about 10 different OBGYNs and endometriosis specialists, I was later diagnosed with a severe case of endometriosis. 2012 to 2015, I had 4 major surgeries thanks to endometriosis and adenomyosis. My surgery scars never healed completely thanks to EDS. When I was a med tech in a nursing home, I started having problems with my knees hurting. At the time, I was working 16-plus-hour shifts almost every day. I was offered cortisone shots by a rheumatologist but refused because I was worried about wearing away my cartilage at a young age. In 2013, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I also started complaining about balance and memory issues at this time. In 2012, I was diagnosed with POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, via tilt table test, stress test, echocardiogram, Holter monitor, etc. This is a list of foods and treatments that help with POTS symptoms. These treatments are pretty general and cookie cutter. Always ask your doctor before trying something new. Every body is different. 2017 to 2019, I was diagnosed with gastroparesis, small intestinal dysmotility, and colonic inertia, which resulted in an NJ tube in April 2019, then eventually a mini one button end of 2019. I have 2 videos on my channel regarding my gastroparesis diagnosis that are from 4 years ago. Despite having a feeding tube, I still love to try new foods, although I can't eat enough to sustain nutrition. My favorite places to go are coffee and bubble tea shops, ice cream parlors and drive-ins, and places with yummy soup. I have also been obsessed with pancakes lately and cannot wait for the free Stampede breakfasts this year. I still love to bake, mainly cookies and cupcakes, but sometimes I venture out into the world of pizza and bread. Everything is always homemade from scratch and baked with love. It puts me in the zone and relaxes me. I also love to share with family, friends, and our neighbors, and they love me for it. In 2018, I was then diagnosed with hypermobility and chronic fatigue syndrome. I was also diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome, but I'm not sure about the diagnosis now that I am officially diagnosed with EDS, so it's something to mention to the geneticist when I see him next. In September 2022, my husband and I got COVID. I thought I was going to die. I couldn't lift up a mug due to the pain from inflammation pushing on my nerves. It was impossible for me to shower completely due to the extreme muscle weakness and overall fatigue and pain. I struggled to breathe for a month. I was throwing up and had a fever of 104. Then I was diagnosed with long COVID a month later in an emergency room in Niagara Falls, Ontario. I then went to the long COVID clinic in Pittsburgh, PA, and they reconfirmed the diagnosis of long COVID and said there's nothing that they could do. They also said my symptoms could be permanent. They didn't know. I would just have to wait it out. Between November 2022 to February 2023, I had bronchitis, a lung infection, pneumonia, and strep throat. My body could not heal itself completely, and instead of getting better, it would just get worse or turn into something worse. Till this day, I still have asthma-like symptoms and shortness of breath, and I wheeze, so my doctor is going to send me to a respiratory therapist and find out what exactly is going on. They're also suspecting that I have mast cell activation syndrome, but I have not been tested or officially diagnosed with that either yet. I have a long list of medication allergies, including most antibiotics, Benadryl, surgery glue, painkillers, etc. I actually carry an EpiPen on me, and I always ask when I'm in the hospital or ER what they are giving me, because sometimes they make mistakes, and those mistakes, they're not paying for them. We are as patients. So always be your own advocate and ask what is going into your IV. My skin is sensitive to toiletries with fragrances, so I use the following. What might work for me may not work for you. I'm not trying to recommend this, I'm just trying to show you what works for me. Dove Sensitive Bar Soap and Deodorant, Tweaked by Nature Shampoo and Conditioner, Sensodyne Toothpaste, Aveeno Body Wash, Vaseline, CeraVe lotion, plain Epsom salt. I sometimes like to add flower petals, oatmeal in a mesh bag, orange peels or bubbles. I found that I can tolerate most Lush bombs as well. Since getting COVID and long COVID, I have noticed that my regular chronic pain issues have gotten much worse. I also noticed that I get sick extremely easily. I thought I got sick easily before. Well, now it's way worse. If someone in the room is 50 feet away and they sneeze, I'm gonna get sick. It's just how it is. So every single time I go out, I come home with a cold. I don't know if there's any research or science into this. I'm sure there's something out there. I have just been busy dealing with my own issues and trying to research EDS as much as possible. I also have photosensitivity, which I briefly mentioned earlier, but in the summer I buy SPF of 50 plus. Honestly, the highest that I've seen I think is 75, and sometimes it's really hard to find. So I'll grab that. I apply it every hour in the summer. I try to cover up my arms with a nice like bathing suit cover up that's thin, silky. Hats, sunglasses, just everything that I can do to be in a shaded area is fantastic. That's what I try to do. Sometimes patios, when you go outside, have umbrellas. Always ask if they can, put the umbrella up and grab a book, grab a coffee, and make yourself at home. But always make sure if you do have photosensitivity, and just in general, people should be trying to protect their skin. Looking back at my medical history and seeing what I've been through, it's been a long time coming, and it's really hard to connect the dots and think outside the box when you're in the driver's seat and you're just trying to survive and move forward with all of your health conditions that you get diagnosed with or misdiagnosed with or not treated or etc. And when they happen over a long period, it is truly hard to connect everything. But I am so grateful that I have this diagnosis, because in my gut I knew, how is this not connected? How is 800 health issues happening to me? They're getting worse and they're not connected. So EDS is the answer. My answer is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome hypermobility. And it took me 35 years to get this diagnosis. I'm hoping the newer generations, it will take 1 year or maybe just one visit, and then they can get treated. And we got to work on treatments too. That's the other thing. So I am very excited to see what the medical world is going to bring to us now that there's more patients with it and more education and more awareness just about it in general. So I wish you all well, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.